Hello there guys, it is me Mr. Fossil and I am back with another video. For today's video, we're going to do another review. For today's review, we're going to be looking at the figurines of the Safari Ltd. Feathered Dinos Toob. In total, this set includes 12 miniature figurines of feathered dinosaurs. I got this tube when I was a kid and I threw out the container, so I managed to find all the original figures just for today's video. Personally, this tube is one of my favorite tubes of the Safari Ltd. Prehistoric Life series. However, there is something seemingly off about this tube, and let me show you what that is. You see, this tube is supposed to be all feathered dinosaurs. Here we have 6 figurines of dinosaurs that apparently have feathers. But the other 6 don't have any feathers at all, and are all scaly. Now, I don't know what Safari Ltd. Was thinking when making this tube, like adding all these scaly dinosaurs here and only having sparse feathered ones. But maybe the reason they added all these ones here is because maybe, like, speculation that maybe these creatures did have feathers. But I'm not too sure about some of them. Some of them, like, I can tell probably maybe did, but we'll talk about that later, while others probably absolutely didn't. But that's really the only complaint I have about this tube. But all in all, like, I like the figurines. But now, let's get down to reviewing each figure individually, shall we? So first we have the Dilong. Dilong was a small, early tyrannosaur, a relative to the T-Rex that lived during the Cretaceous period. Overall, I like the coloration, that nice charcoal black, and I like that white underbelly. It's a good contrast, actually, the black and the white. But yeah, overall, it's a very nice figure. Very cool. So for scale, we have the tube figurine, and we have the much larger Carnegie Collection Dilong figurine. This one I actually like more because of the gray coloration, as well as like the nice reds and yellows on the face and on the tail. I like it. A nice representation of an early tyrannosaur. Continuing on with tyrannosaurs, we have the king himself, T-Rex. Overall, I actually like this coloration, like that nice brownish red color and a nice blackish brown color going down its back and tail. It's very nice. And I also like this beige underbelly, as you can see here. And I like how, like, its paint glistens in the light, like the last figurine. It's a very nice coloration pattern for a T-Rex. Now, T-Rex having feathers, though, has been a debate in the scientific community. But I think the current consensus that we have, that I've heard of and seen, is that T-Rex probably did look like this. It was pretty much scaly. But I have seen representations of its babies having feathers, or the adults having some peach fuzz feathers. Like the babies would lose their feathers in trade of scales. But I'm not too sure about that. Maybe they did. But, I think T-Rex could have maybe had some feathers, and it was just mainly scaly like you see in the movies. So I think this is pretty accurate. Next, we have the Baipiaosaurus. This was a small cousin of the Therizinosaurs. Well, actually, a member of the family, but it was a small cousin of the Therizinosaurus itself, a group of theropods that were plant eaters during the Cretaceous period, characterized by their long, sharp claws on their hands, used for defense probably. So this one, it was unearthed in China and lived during the Cretaceous. Overall, I think this representation of it actually makes it look like a turkey, actually. But overall, I like its coloration and its posture and its sculpt. I like the detail of the feathers. But yeah, this is a pretty nice figurine. Pretty nice representation of this herbivorous creature. Up next, we have the Pachycephalosaurus, a herbivorous dinosaur from the Cretaceous period of North America. Overall, I actually like its coloration. Like that earthy brown color with that nice yellow underbelly and that glossy shine. I also like its colorful dome. They actually made its dome and head spikes colorful, with blues and greens. It kind of reminds me of the Earth, if you know what I mean, like with the blue and the green. But yeah, this is a very nice earthy dinosaur color scheme. I really like it. Now, as for this dinosaur having feathers, I'm not too sure if Pachycephalosaurus and its cousins had feathers. I think these guys probably were completely scaly like lizards, but I'm not too sure about that. What do you think? Up next, we have the Caudipteryx, another dinosaur unearthed in China that lived in the Cretaceous period, and this guy was pretty small too. Overall, I actually like its coloration, like the beigeish greenish color mixed with the gray. I think that's what that is. And of course, we have like the orange brownish colors, the terracottas, and the blacks. It's a very nice color scheme. It looks like that this creature probably lived in a woodland environment. And also, like the Baipiaosaurus, this dinosaur looks kind of like a chicken or a turkey. Gobble gobble. So for scale, we have the Toob figurine, and we have the Carnegie Collection Caudipteryx towering above. This figurine has more elaborate color schemes than the one in the tube, having blues, blacks, polka dots, and greens. This one looks very colorful and reminds me of a peacock. But yeah, this one I got as a kid as well, and I actually like this one better than the tube figurine. A very beautiful creature. Next up, we have the Apatosaurus. This one is another personal favorite of mine in the collection. I like its very bright lime green. Like, look at that. Very stunning, very beautiful. I just like that coloration, that key lime. And then we have the nice brownish beige underbelly, which I think is a good contrast with the green in my opinion. But this is just overall a nicely finely sculpted figure. Very cool. Now, as to why Safari added a Apatosaurus into this tube is beyond me. Like, I highly doubt that Apatosaurus or any long-necked dinosaur had feathers. I just highly doubt it. Like, why would something so big like this need feathers? Like, it's just beyond me. But I still like the figurine. Next, we have the Microraptor, a small dromaeosaur that was also unearthed in China. And it's also known as the four-winged dinosaur because, as you can see, both its arms and legs have feathers that were used for gliding. Overall, I actually like its coloration, like the nice blues and the yellows mixing in with the browns to make greenish colors. And I also like that nice white underbelly. It's a very nice and finely sculpted figurine too. Very cool. But yeah, this is another personal favorite of mine in the tube as well. However, despite its beautiful coloration, this was made before we discovered the actual colors of Microraptor, which were actually black feathers which were iridescent and shined in sunlight. So for a more accurate representation of Microraptor, we have the PNSO Museum Collection Microraptor. As you can see, it's black and has a nice iridescence, giving it like a blue hue to it with like purples. But yeah, this is a very nice figurine and is actually very accurate to what we know today about Microraptor's coloration. A very stunning animal. Up next, we have the Psittacosaurus, a small early cousin of the Triceratops. It is a ceratopsian, which lived in Asia as well during the Cretaceous period. I like its nice coloration, like the brown beak and the nice yellows and goldish color it has. It looks like it lives in a desert environment with this coloration. But yeah, it's a very nice color. But one thing this figure is missing, though, is its tail quills. Fossil evidence suggests that this dinosaur had quills on its tail. So this dinosaur did in fact have feathers. So for comparison, we have the tube figurine and a more accurate updated version from the Safari Ltd collection that was made quite a few years ago. So in this figurine, you can obviously tell the color scheme is different, and you can see we have the tail quills, which the little one does not have. And also, since its color scheme is different, this is kind of accurate to what we know. Psittacosaurus, we know, had a darker back and a more lighter underbelly for camouflage within forests, so it did not live in the desert. But this is a very nice representation of the animal as well. Up next, we have another personal favorite dinosaur of mine, not just in the tube, but in general, the Velociraptor. So yeah, this figurine's coloration is actually very nice. I like the browns, that nice rustic brown color, and also has a gray head, and also it has like a little beige underbelly. This creature basically just reminds me of a road runner, and it looks like something that probably lived in the desert too. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. It has feathers, which is accurate. Velociraptor was feathered, it wasn't scaly. But yeah, this overall is a very nice representation of the animal. Not entirely accurate though, but at least it has feathers, which I'm glad it does. Next, we have another ceratopsian, known as the Chasmosaurus, which lived during the Cretaceous period in North America. Overall, I actually like the color scheme of this creature as well, like the nice dark blues contrasted with the like that deep lime green color with the stripes, and also with the beige, no, the bluish grayish color underbelly, as well as you see at the back of the frill. But this one has a very nice shine to it and a very nice color theme. Very cool figure. Now, as for having feathers, I'm not too sure. I don't know if other ceratopsians would have had tail quills like Psittacosaurus. Like maybe Chasmosaurus had quills, like, around here, but we have no fossil evidence of that. So maybe Safari Ltd was following the logic of Psittacosaurus. Like, this dinosaur had quills, therefore maybe this one had quills. So I can kind of see the logic that they might be getting at, but I'm not too sure. Up next, we have one of my very favorite dinosaurs, not just in the tube, but also in general, the Sinornithosaurus, a small raptor from China of the Cretaceous period. This figure is very detailed and also has very nice coloration. I like its white coat of feathers and the brown stripes on it as well. And I also like how the hands and the feet here and the face are all orange, I guess showing where it had scales. This thing looks like it lived in like a polar environment. But I think Sinornithosaurus lived in a more forested environment, not the poles. But yeah, this is a very nice representation of this creature. Despite it being my favorite figure in the tube, its coloration is not accurate. We actually know that Sinornithosaurus had feathers that were mixes of oranges, yellows, reds, and browns because it lived in a forested environment. But I like the white coloration with the brown. This is a very nice piece. Next, we have the Protoceratops, the last figure in the collection. This was a small ceratopsian about the size of a pig that lived in Mongolia, in China probably, during the Cretaceous period. So this figurine's coloration is also very nice. I like that nice green coloration. I like the blue on its frill, and also like the nice goldish brown color, like the stripes, and on its frill in the face as well. And it also has like a grayish underbelly too. But yeah, a nice combination of colors like some of the other figurines. Also, Protoceratops and Velociraptor met each other, and they would have probably fought each other because Velociraptor hunted Protoceratops for food. As for Protoceratops having feathers, we have no fossil evidence of that, but they were probably following the logic of Psittacosaurus. Like, if he had quills, he had quills. It's probably just speculation why they put all these ceratopsians here. I don't know if they all had quills, but maybe we'll find out someday, or maybe we'll never know. But there you have it, guys. The Safari Ltd Feathered Dinosaurs Tube. Overall, I like the majority of the figures in this tube. I like their color schemes and their sculpt and the details within their feathers as well. But as I said, as you can see, some have feathers while others do not have feathers. The ones that do not have feathers were probably added due to speculation reasons. Now, I don't know what the consensus is on some of these dinosaurs, but maybe you can tell me in the comments below. But that really is the only complaint I have about this product, but I like it. It's a nice, fine assortment of figurines. It's one of my personal favorite tubes that I've gotten from Safari Ltd when I was younger. But Tell me what you think about this tube in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay tuned for more content. Have a nice day, and stay safe and well. Bye!